Yo.
Hello.
Look at that.
Okay.
Not a bad jam, huh?
Not bad.
Did you enjoy that? I enjoyed that.
I kept playing different scales.
Did you?
Yeah. It's just like, okay, I wonder if a B major will work here. Turns out, yep. Then A major, yep.
Yeah.
As long as I did it enough times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had someone tell me once that as long as you keep repeating the mistake, it's no longer a mistake. It's part of the song.
It's jazz. Nice. Well, dude, we're on our 10th episode here.
10th episode.
Yeah.
Right.
We had a great 9th episode. And then after this, we're taking a little break. We're going to be gone for Christmas. And we're going to be gone for
New Year's.
the New Year's. We'll be back in January doing this. And speaking of Christmas, I got a surprise for you.
Oh, man.
I got you a gift, Dano.
Oh, man. What'd you get me?
I got you
Is this a guitar strap?
a guitar strap. One of the nice ones that I really like. The brand is called Right On Straps.
This is beautiful.
And that is my gift to you. I went with this one because a lot of your guitars have very earthy, light colors to them.
Except for this one.
Except for that one. But your PRS and your Telly kind of.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
you're right. This is beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. I love these straps. I got one on. I got one on right now. What?
It's got a pig hole.
I know. Look, I got one here.
It's beautiful. I'm gonna forget that's there when I go to play, because normally if I lose my pick, I'm just gotta use the fingers because I don't plan ahead like that.
Well, that's what's so nice is like I keep all my little picks in there, and this is what's awesome about these straps.
Okay.
Is
show me.
So for when you need to adjust it, literal screwdriver.
Literal screwdriver. Okay.
This thing, this little
so
plate
once it's in place, it won't be bouncing around on me.
Yeah, and you don't need to worry about nothing like coming loose. So you pick the length you want. This adjusts down here. Like would you just slide that up and down, and the button locks I think are also pretty solid on here. Like they're not going anywhere.
Okay.
That's what I like about these.
And if I never really had issues, so this is nice. This is nicer than any guitar strap I own.
The other awesome thing is the inside is like this leather material. Now this cracks me up though on your tag here.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows, for all our vegetarians out there, this is a vegan-friendly strap.
Okay. So it's made with vegan leather from real vegans?
Yeah. Real vegan people.
Wow. It's a
real vegan flesh.
This just turned from very earthy to very metal pretty quickly. Like I'm going to be wearing this and probably haunted.
But yeah, it's the inside here.
And it looks like it's made of cork on the outside. Is that? Or is
it could be some type of cork design. I have no idea.
It's nice.
But yeah, I thought it would look good with your PRS at least because I seen you playing with that, and it's got that nice.
Spain.
This might match like the neck, which I think would be cool.
Basically everything.
Yeah, but the
and it'll match my acoustic too.
And I love the grip on these, man. Like the one thing about guitar straps is depending on the guitar you have, and you play and it'll move. But dude, with the inside of that, it literally just grips you. So like whatever position you're holding your guitar in, that is where it's staying. You don't need to worry about it moving.
That's nice. Now I've had it happen before. I'm gonna put this in my.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna just gently toss this.
Go ahead.
I've had it happen before where the strap is holding on so well, it starts pulling my shirt out of place.
Yeah, that might happen. Depending on the shirt you're wearing.
And then I'm just like leading worship in front of people. I'm like, oh, can't lose my shirt.
Yeah. Shirt just lifts up.
I'm not David. I'm not David. I'm not David.
You're falling a crop top in front of the congregation. Showing off that belly button ring you got,
Yeah, definitely, because I definitely have one of those.
But oh man. But I love these straps. All my guitars got one. Technically, I got all of them.
They're all the same brand.
I all got same brand strap.
It's a beautiful.
Right on straps is the name of them. This one here that I got on is a right on strap. For my acoustic, I got a right on strap. For my Ibanez, my double neck has a regular old right on strap. And the Ibanez, you've probably seen it. It's got the lightning bolt on it.
Yeah.
So that's all right on straps.
They apparently make good straps.
Yeah, and the only thing that's kind of a little annoying is just because they're so solid. Like when you're trying to put your guitar away, the thing's like just pushing out, and you kind of have to, figure out how to get it in your case.
Yeah.
I'll
probably just take it off.
Yeah.
Although my soft body cases, they have lots of room in them.
Yeah.
So it mostly be a hard body case.
My gig bag, I can do it. But even with this guitar, when I put it in the case like that, I just take it, the strap, I kink it at the top, and I just fold it, and it kind of like does this thing where it's like, it's flat. The strap is flat this way.
Yeah.
But then it kind of like comes over.
You run on the bottom, or do you run it along the side?
I don't think I run along the side. I think I just
run it on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah.
It's probably not great form, but
it's fine. I mean,
it's not going to scratch it up. It's such soft material. It's not going to scratch it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. But I love having these pick holders too. I really have gotten so used to it because you know how you're always looking for your pick.
See, I only have one, and I just promise to never lose it.
Yeah. You put it in your back pocket or something before
I put
you play.
it on the guitar.
Yeah, you put it in your strings. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. That's what I've always done. Yeah. It's never seemed to cause me problems.
Yeah.
So
that one pick.
Well, I mean, I think at one point it had words on it, but now it doesn't. Yeah. So
wow.
It's been wearing down. I keep going until they break, or until I lose them. Yeah. So the funny thing is, like I'll buy a whole bag of picks or something like that, and I'll have had a pick for years, no problem. Yeah. I buy a bag of picks. The pick I had goes missing the very next day. It's like it's intimidated by the other picks. But then when I start to run low, I lose picks like crazy as long as I have a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. But then when I start to run low on picks,
right,
I stop losing them, and it feels like socks in the dryer. But it's guitar picks.
Yeah. No, they do kind of go missing. Although I do pretty good at not losing them. I don't know why, but dude, this strap though keeps you from losing. I'll tell you that right now. At the end of your gig, you just go bloop, just put it in your little pocket.
Can it hold more than one, or is it just like two?
I think it's just one.
Just one on each side. Okay.
Well, it could hold more because I technically use these.
Next to each
other. I use these Jazz 3s. These are almost like.
Yeah, those are like the size of a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you showed me. Oh, this is a little bit thinner than the normal ones you use, but yeah, you could like shank someone with this.
If it only had metal edges, right?
I don't even know if it needs metal edges. Just
sharpened metal edges, so you could chuck it at people that are threatening you.
Yeah, like they jump up on stage, you have no idea why they're there.
Yeah,
and just like,
and they're right next to you. They're right here. I can just whip one out.
Ideally, you're probably holding it already to play on the guitar.
Yeah, I don't think it would work well playing a sharpened metal edged pick with this.
You never know. I heard someone plays with elephant bone or mammoth bone tusk.
Yeah.
Guitar picks.
Yeah.
Which I would think would be illegal. To have.
Interesting.
Mammoth bone.
Is he playing electric?
I have no idea. I don't even.
Because that would. I feel like that. I mean, maybe if it's coated, it would last. But I feel like that would really wear quick. This is nylon, so this isn't like a normal plastic. Apparently, this is a nylon.
Yeah. I have no idea what this is.
Probably just regular old plastic.
Could be.
Type of pick. Let me see your pick.
Nice medium gauge.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. That way I can bend it a little bit, but I can also get the hard and soft stuff in there.
Yeah. See, I'm so used to my Jazz 3s now. It's like I'm playing with a 2x4.
Yeah, you feel like you're using like a boat paddle.
Because these are a lot smaller. These are like no bigger than my thumb.
Probably about half the size of this.
Yeah.
And then I got those giant fan picks or whatever. You've seen those?
Yeah. Yep.
Got a couple of those. I don't like them, but I got a lot of them.
They're huge, right?
They're gigantic.
What is the point of those? I never understood the...
I don't know. Some people, I think, just like holding on to it with like 3 fingers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, whereas I usually keep my middle finger out so I can like pick if need be.
Yeah. I don't, because I guess, I pretty much, yeah, just the 2 fingers.
Yeah, I just use my thumb and my first finger to hold the pick. Unless I'm tremolo picking. Nope, still then.
When I'm doing really fast picking, I use the 2. Yeah, do you use the 2?
Nope, just 1. The others are just there for moral support.
I can do it with the 1, but I get better control with the 2.
Yeah, I'm like off and on good at tremolo picking.
Yeah. But that's why I like these, because you just get a lot of bounce to them, and you don't have to play as hard.
Yeah.
And they also, I guess it's because I'm so used to, I also like the size because it gives me the ability to like do a hybrid pick if I want. So if I...
Chicken picking style. Is that what they call that? Chicken picking.
Yeah, so it gives you that ability where it's like you're not holding this huge thing that's in the way, so you can't really use your other fingers if you're trying to do something. So it's almost like just having a nail. I'm only having like that much.
Yeah.
Like very small amount.
Very small
open.
amount.
Yeah.
I usually hold it pretty close to my finger. So
Yeah.
much so that I end up wearing down on my the fingernail on my first finger.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. Dang.
I use it to kind of soften the attack of the pick.
Yeah.
So I'll like play and it basically slides over the string before the pick does and starts the string moving.
Yeah.
And that'll soften up some of it.
Wow.
Versus if I'm just flat picking, can't hear the difference, but it makes me feel like there's a difference.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It feels a little bit softer.
Yeah.
Which is probably just the fact that I'm scraping it over with my fingernail. But yeah, and then the other fingernail on my second finger, it always wears down in the exact same spot, and I have a feeling that's because it's also hitting the strings too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, there's using a pick is like can be its own chore, man. Like with the hybrid picking, the alternate picking. Now to get a load of this, economy picking.
Is that sweep picking?
It's a form of that, yeah. It's economy picking is where. Let me see if I get a close up here.
That was not sweep picking.
Let's get a close up. So economy picking. Let me get the camera zoomed in.
Okay.
Economy picking is where you you're going back and forth on the string.
Oh.
But so if I start picking down,
Oh, I see.
You start picking down. But when you go to the next string, you just continue the motion forward.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's very much like sweep picking then.
it's weird, man. It's but when I do get it, and when you do get it, it really becomes flawless to do the fast picking stuff.
No, it's nice.
You know?
Sweep pick learning sweep picking was one of the skills that really made me improve on some things overall. Because being able to just continue a motion is really ideal.
Right.
Because it saves you so much.
Right. Yeah. And when you're doing sweeps, yeah, like if you're doing like a sweep, like I'll just do the generic. Something like that, or you're doing like a.
Yeah.
Let me try to.
I don't have them practiced.
So if you're doing like a major seven type thing, come on, camera. Come on, camera. There we go. Yeah, stuff like that.
Does it bother you that when you hit the string when you're sweep picking, when you go to hammer down, you got both hand below the string coming through? Like it, especially when you get higher up on the strings.
No. What are you talking about, though?
So, like, you hear that, like, bell, as opposed to, like, if I were to just press on the string, strike it. I don't know. I guess maybe it's more present just when it could be because it's so close to the harmony spot that I don't know. Maybe it's just because I play it without it being plugged in. A lot of the string noise apart from the actual.
It could also be the frets. I have jumbo frets on here. It looks like you got mediums, which I think that kind of does something to the to that. Or when you have medium frets, you're gonna get that noise that's like sounds coming from towards the headstock. The jumbo frets on here, I don't really get it.
Yeah, it's a lot more quiet on yours.
So, but yeah, the economy picking I got into, I was watching this guy. His name is Rick Graham, and he's on YouTube, and he's kind of like the new. He's got a crazy YouTube page, very popular, and he's a phenomenal player. He's all about doing crazy sweeps and economy and taps, and he it's insane. Like, have you heard of him, Rick Graham?
No, I have not.
Yeah, he's pretty nuts. I watch him with some of the stuff he does, and I mean, it's so flawless and insane. You know,
if you get it right, it sounds great.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, it goes wrong very fast, though. Sweep picking stuff is cool. I mean, it's almost necessary for a lot of the metal stuff that people play.
It's hard. Dan.
It is. It is. Sorry, I'm just tapping away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So tell me about taps, Dan. You told
gosh.
me that you weren't really big on the taps, huh?
So over the last 5 days, I've been subjecting my middle finger to basically the punishment my other fingers go through. My middle finger on my right hand to the punishment my other fingers go through on my left hand, and they're used to it. But it turns out when you're tapping, it's a lot like when you're doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, and so you gotta.
The only pointer I can give you is rather than have your finger really extended like that, treat it like you were actually with this hand, similar, you're just, so you're kind of more like this.
A little bit more bent. I can't see your fingers.
You're more like this.
Oh, I
you're,
see.
You're doing this.
Yeah, see, I can't do that because my nail's too long. So
Dan,
I know. It's actually
Dynamite.
It's showing past my
Fernando Daniel.
Okay, yeah, that's. You've got one name in there right. I feel like I'm in trouble. But see, with a longer nail, I don't even need a pick.
Well, I just use my fingertips.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I just haven't clipped my fingernails, and so I'm making excuses.
I use my fingertips, which a lot, in the classical guitar playing world, which is where I came from, you're supposed to be playing with nails. And I just remember when I went to college and my peers were growing out their nails, and I was like, there is no way.
They get brittle fast.
That I'm doing that and being able to upkeep that. I just couldn't do it. The other things I do, with everything that I do, whether it's going to the gym, at the time I was broke and I couldn't really afford a whole lot. I had this junk car that I was constantly working on. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to learn or grow my nails out and just upkeep them and everything goes smooth. So I just said, I'm just going to play with my fingertips like I have been for the longest time. And the teacher at the time was like, yeah, all right, whatever. He was fine with it. He had nails. And then, and he was great. Loved having him as a teacher. Shout out to John Mason. And then I was also taking lessons under this other guy, Phil DeFermery. Shout out to Phil DeFermery. And he... he had a prosthetic finger because he lost the tip, and I don't know what it was, bandsaw, something like that.
I think that's ironic. I don't mean to make light of the situation, but a guitarist losing a tip of finger in a bandsaw.
Yeah.
Band.
Nice. Something. Bandsaw.
Yeah.
Musical wrench, whatever. But, so that was his thing. And I remember taking on my first lesson with him, and he carried it in a little case in his coat pocket, or even in his guitar case, maybe. I can't remember.
Oh,
but he would open
the prosthetic finger.
Yeah, the prosthetic finger. So he would pull out.
I thought he just had his finger.
You thought he just had his finger what?
His finger, and he's just carrying around his finger hey, check this out. I chopped this off for a while. But
the prosthetic one. So he would carry it in his guitar case. He would be in this little box or this little bag, and he'd take it out, and he would just pop it on like a suction cup. And, obviously that would kill the whole point of having nails. Mm-hmm. So he just played with his fingertips, and he had a whole science behind it. He had a whole story that he told me, because he was a pupil of Andre Segovia. Have you heard that name? If you're a classical guitarist, Andre Segovia is he's the godfather of classical guitar, basically. And was a big deal. And so he was my teacher, Phil, was studying under him. And the story that he told me was that during a master class, Segovia was up on whatever stage, teaching the class, showing whatever, and my teacher and whoever he was with, the guy that he was with, stood up and was like, they called him Maestro, or they called him, I think they called him Maestro. They said, Maestro, where do you get your tone? How do you get your tone? And he kind of brushed it off, and he was showing something else, and they were like, but Maestro, how do you get your tone? So he invites him up on the stage, because everybody's thinking we're playing with nails, right? Well, Segovia had very tiny nails. You see some of these classical guitarists, and they look like something like from Cruella de Vil, Dalmatians. They got these wacky-looking, gross-looking nails. And he had these really fine ones, and he would, when they came up on stage to watch what he was doing, he was not using his nail. He was using the flesh part of his finger. And when they saw that, they were like, what? Like, are you kidding? Like, this is what you do? And so from that point on, my teacher said he cut his nails off and was doing that. Accident, I guess, happened later. And he vouched to playing with fingertips.
Was he using the bandsaw to cut his fingernails off?
Yeah, maybe. Classical guitarist, you got to have like a friggin' inch thick nail. No, but it's like, it's just, it's just a weird look too. I could never.
Looks like straight out of a horror movie.
Yeah, like one hand you have nails on. Yeah. It's creepy looking. Yeah, I hear you. It's creepy looking. But,
it's a lot of work to maintain them too.
Oh, it's like, it's stupid. You got to get like fancy nail files, and you basically become you get a small degree in, what is it, manicures? Yeah, small degree in manicuring. Or what do they call that? What is that art called? Whatever it is. So you got to do all that, and, so I just knew that wasn't going to happen with me.
Yeah.
But it was cool to meet that teacher who dedicated his life to figuring out how to play with his fingertips, and he showed me the ropes and with that, and just different ways to get different tones and stuff.
I've only ever played with my fingertips.
Right. Because you don't want to mess with your you don't want to mess with nails. I mean, come on. It's just a pain. Yeah.
I mean, the one nail I have on my finger is always in a jagged shape because I wear down on it so much from picking. So from the way I strum.
Mm-hmm.
So
it just, less to think about. And then, I've had other people tell me, because I play with my fingertips on my steel string guitar. I currently I have this little Yamaha nylon that if I need to pull it out to get the nylon sound, I'll pull it out. But I get the best of both worlds with my steel string folk style body guitar there. And so I do all my classical stuff on there. And I even do a little bit of like looping, and I do solos with a pick and stuff on it.
And you can play it in direct sunlight because of the steel strings versus nylon strings.
Right. That's true too. And so some people would look at me and go, dude, how are you doing that? Like, do your fingertips get like, chipped to crap? And I'm like, no, honestly, the whole technique that I was taught when playing with fingertips is you're basically coming up to the instrument, and what a lot of people think is that you need to be, they'll go up to the guitar and they'll be kind of like with their fingers out like this, and they'll be playing like these rest stroke type stuff. The goal here is not to do that, but to bring the hand forward and think of your fingers as becoming, and this was like the best analogy I had, becoming like a donkey's leg kicking back, and you're not your finger is not on the string for that long. A rest stroke, if you're like this, you're kind of like that will eventually tear your finger up because it's so much contact with strings. But if you're just doing a free stroke and you're just going bump and it just grazes a string really quick, your finger is not making as much contact. Also, with a quick hit, when it's really quick like that, you get more volume, technically too.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can think of it as like if you have a rubber band stretched out, as opposed to you taking your finger and like pulling it and then letting it go, you're just almost flicking it. But you're doing like this kind of a motion. You're flicking it that way. As opposed to you taking your finger, bending it, and then it goes boing and goes back. It's that kind of, you could think of it like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that curl, just keep the fingers relaxed and just a like strum across them.
Yeah.
Although I'm using my fingernails right now,
but you're getting the whole finger activated as opposed to like some people think it's just here. I'll go back to that camera view here.
No, some people think it's just
people think it's just this joint on your fingers. It's really not. You want to get the full finger involved, and what that does is it gives you more mass because it's the whole finger as opposed to just half the finger. So you're getting more mass that's hitting the string, and that also creates more volume too. So it's a whole. My teacher was, it was like sitting in a science class when he was teaching me all this stuff, and I probably taught under him a year, and it was like relearning the guitar. It sucked because I was just playing to play. And he was finally at the end of the year, he did give me a good compliment. He's like, hey, you really came a long way, and I think you're up for some good guitar playing if you keep it up. So, but honestly, the way that he showed me, I tell people to do it all the time. And even I've met guys that have been playing for longer than me. I've showed them that, and I've told them the whole way of going about it. And they've looked at me and been like, holy crap, like, that makes a lot of sense. Because they were tearing their fingers up. Like they were playing jazz, and when they wanted to just start playing, playing jazz, you're not growing out your nails. You just got fingers. So they would start playing with their fingers, and they'd be doing it like, like a normal guy just picking up guitar would think of how to do it. And then when I would show them that, they'd be like, man, this is really easier on the fingers and the tone's better. And, I'd say, yeah, all you got to do is think of it kind of just like I say, a horse kicking back is what your fingers are on the strings, is the same kind of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember the one to figure out what I do, because I think I do that just naturally, so.
Yeah.
And it's really not hard on my fingers at all. It doesn't wear on them. Then again, I don't play that much, and I don't play fast stuff. Yeah. But it's never at no point has it ever like.
Yeah.
Have I like struggled with the finger picking.
I've met guys that are like they're just tearing their fingers up.
Now, and I'm like the skin or the joints.
The skin.
Skin. Okay.
Like actually peeling the skin off the fingertips. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah, I also saw this wild photo. This dude, because I'm on a group on Facebook that's called Guitar and Music Theory Group or whatever, and occasionally people will post a picture or a song asking like, what key is this in? What kind of analysis is this chord? Whatever it is, harmonic analysis of certain things. What chord is this? They'll be showing you a picture of their hand. And this one photo this guy posted on the page. He's like, I've been doing this. What did he say? I put 12 gauge strings on my electric guitar, which are big, you know. And he's like, and I'd practice this whatever for like an hour a day. And he takes a picture of his fingertips after an hour of playing. And I mean, it is like, I'm looking at it like, what are you doing, dude? Like it was calloused, but he was breaking the calluses. And they just looked like he put them into a cheese grater. And I'm just like, man, that is like, and I play an electric guitar with 12 gauge. I play acoustic. I do things on the acoustic guitar or the Strat I got that has 12s on it. And I don't know. And
was it left hand or right hand?
It was his fretting hand.
Fretting
hand?
Yeah. You know, I bet something that he could work on is I bet he squeezes the strings too hard.
Yeah, I think, well, that's the only answer.
Yeah, and so what he could do was put a lighter gauge string on it, because that way he trains himself not to squeeze too hard, because otherwise he'll squeeze him out of tune.
Yeah.
And so it may not sound good to him, but it'll retrain him on how to press just enough to make
and I think that's the key. I think that's the key he was missing in that, because it was, oh man, I'm looking at it going, and I don't understand, because, and I've had other guys that I've met who admit to me like, oh, I just press really hard, that's how I play. And it's like, well, don't do that.
See, like, the cool thing about, so I have 9s on this, which I hear everyone talking about their high gauge strings, but so this is pressed just enough, slightly out of tune, so let's see if I can find one that does it better.
Yeah.
And so I can tell when I'm pressing too much.
Yeah. But what's funny is when I talk to these guys and I start doing stuff like this.
Yeah, just all taps. Or all hammer-ons, I should say.
Yeah, when you start doing stuff like that, they look at me like, wow, how do you do that? Or like, you must be playing, your hands must be freakishly strong. But I'm like, honestly, the goal here is to not dig that hard. It's meant to be a very quick, and I think that's what it is it's meant to be, because the other thing too is you don't want your finger flailing around.
Yeah, preserve energy.
You don't want your fingers flailing around like, let's see here, if I can get something. So where you're doing this like, you see how far I'm coming up off the, you want to kind of get things inside.
Yeah.
And you just want to do, my pinky is probably not moving more than
some of that,
a quarter of an inch off the fretboard.
Some of that has to do with curling the thumb improperly. If your thumb is straight, you got to hold your fingers straight. You just have to. And so you got to curl.
All right.
You got to curl. And sometimes, like, if you're holding the guitar, like, I'll wrap my thumb around, which means that I have to get my fingers in a weird position.
Right.
But if I'm just doing picking stuff, and if I'm very careful, like when I'm playing chords, I'll wrap my thumb around because it lets me silence these top 2 strings.
Yeah.
And play just the other or the top 3 strings.
Yeah.
But when you're doing like chording stuff, or when you're doing individual tapping stuff, you have to bring that thumb back around, put it behind the neck.
Right. And that's how I play. I play with the thumb pretty much on the back of the neck.
Now my fingers are comparatively long.
Yeah, I think that's most guitar players, or most people you got. But really, the guitar is made to be, it's not made for guys with monstrous hands, I don't think. Guys with monstrous hands can obviously maybe reach.
And as it turns out, If your hands are bony and not flat across, making bar chords is nearly impossible. Well, I've gotten better at it, but...
Really? If your hands are bony, huh?
Yeah, because, like... Let's see.
Yeah, you do got some skeleton hands there, Dan.
Like, hear that?
Yeah.
Like, I have to squeeze really hard to overcome that.
Really?
Yeah, because the bone on the top of my finger, in between the bone and the next bone, it's a little valley which the string just sits in and it mutes it. Oh. And so I have to get it just right, and makes bar chords really a pain in the butt for me, which is one of the reasons I refuse to play them.
You do got some skeleton-looking hands there, Dan.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. I can see every little vein, muscle. Yeah. Jeez, man.
They do the job, though.
If you put a flashlight up to your hand, I bet you we could see through it.
I think we could put one up to your hand and see through it, too.
Are you sure? As good as yours, you think?
I think so. I mean, the hands are not very thick as it is. Even if yours are thicker than mine.
Maybe. I can do it on my fingers. Like on my fingers, I can hold a flashlight up, and you can like see the outline of your bone.
If it's strong enough, you can see all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's trippy.
Yeah.
Trippy stuff.
You got a bone in your hand. Kind of weird to think about.
If I do it to my Chihuahua, you can see right through his whole body.
Yeah, to be fair, and you can normally pretty much see through his whole body. The difference between your Chihuahua and a hairless cat is...
It's true.
A small layer of felt.
There's a guy who has a hairless Siamese. Is that what it is?
I think it's a Sphinx is what they're called.
Sphinx.
I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, and they kind of do look like a Chihuahua a little bit. Although, here's the thing, though.
They're ugly.
Yeah, to me, they just look like a straight-up E.T. Yeah. Like a hairless cat looks like a straight-up E.T. Just they got a real fat back end and like stomach, and then they got these skinny little shoulders and this skinny neck and head.
They look like raw chicken.
And they look like wrinkly and stuff. Yeah, they do.
They look like raw chicken.
Yeah.
With an Egyptian head. Egyptian raw chicken.
Yeah, they look weird, man. And they and the cats being able to do what they do, jumping up 10 feet or something.
They're impressive. They're little murder machines.
I just can't believe I've seen cats jump my height, like it's just,
if not more.
Yeah.
I've seen some jump from the floor to like on the top of the
really?
Shelf, which I guess would be your height.
That is absurd, man.
Yeah, no, they're impressive little creatures. Then I've seen other ones where they're kittens and they don't know how far or how high they can jump yet, and they jump like 3 inches, and it's adorable.
See, Bubs, who is my Chihuahua, he can jump fairly high.
Chihuahuas can. It's impressive.
Yeah, he can get up on stuff, but sometimes he misses and wipes out. But he likes to go up on the couch. He'll jump up onto the couch seat, get up on the arm, and then up on top of the couch. And he kind of just does this like obstacle course run around the couch.
Yeah, I've seen him do it when he gets excited.
Yeah, but the funny thing about Chihuahuas though is, especially when he's sprinting as fast as he can possibly go, he gets so excited. He's sprinting, and he looks like he's going so fast. But like when you're actually watching the distance that he's covering, it's really not much. But he looks like he's going so fast,
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny about it. But they got these little tiny legs, and most dogs, they have their bodies match their legs and their feet, and I think that's how they get their ability
corgis.
to just. Yeah.
Corgis don't.
Yeah. Never mind. So there's definitely dogs that just.
But yeah, I think
not
most
match.
dogs. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you think of like a German Shepherd or a Lab or something, everything's pretty proportional. So that's how they can get the ability to just book it like insanely fast. The dog I grew up with, I think he could literally reach up to like 50 miles an hour running.
That's crazy.
And the reason why I figured it out is because my dad was leaving in his car, and he just kind of took off, and the dog went after the car. And my dad was going like, it was this long dirt road, and my dad was going like about 50 miles an hour. He was keeping up with it. So
that's impressive.
Yeah, he was kind of a freak of nature. He had this like, he was only 50 pounds, and he just could do these physical feats that you're like, how is this even, like, there was one time where my sister and I were out playing in the snow. We were younger, and I was holding him on a leash, and my sister started to run, and he gets excited, wanted to run after her, so he runs after her, but he was on the leash, and we were in the snow. So in the snow, I fall over, and my hand was wrapped in the leash, and he just pulled me, like body through the snow, 50-pound dog.
Wow. Okay.
Now, granted, at the time, I don't know what I weighed at the time, but
yeah, I mean,
it was probably
if you're $150 or so,
yeah,
dog could probably pull that. I could see that.
Yeah,
especially on a slippery surface.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't slippery. It was powdery.
Okay.
Which again, like I'm being pulled through powdered snow, with this dog, and but yeah, he used to do wild stuff, and then he had severe separation anxiety, which was a big problem.
It is.
Yeah. He would tear the house apart and rip things.
Ow.
And yeah, he would chew on the windowsills. He broke a window.
What type of dog was it?
I think there was Shepherd with Doberman, but he was only 50 pounds. He was tan.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like
medium-sized dog.
Same color as Bubs.
Yeah, okay.
Only Bubs is literally just tan. He had I got a little darker on his spine.
Do you remember the Kyoto Taco Bell dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
It's literally Bubs.
Yeah.
It looks just like
it. Does. Bubs does not ask Yo Kyoto Taco Bell though, so.
Yeah. But yeah, we named him Levi. He was pretty wild.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, the worst things that happened when we would leave him home because he just couldn't handle it. He would immediately just start to panic, right? And we were like, well, we got to lock him up if he's just going to tear the house apart. So we locked him up in a crate, to which then he injured himself in the crate flipping out and broke the crate.
Okay.
And it was a crate, you're talking about this tall, sat this high. It was pretty long. It was long. Like, he could definitely move around in the thing. But he broke out of it. He would chew at the metal door to try to get out, to which he ripped his fangs out. Yeah. And then he would get out and just tear the house, just run around the house, just knocking things, jumping up on the table, the windowsills, kitchen sink.
That's no good.
You'd come home to like stuff just smashed and broken on the floor. And there was one time, because when he was younger, he was very aware. His senses were really well. Like he was pretty impressive. When he got older, his senses started to go. So I think I came home late one night, and my mom had left the next morning and went to work, and I was still in the house, but he didn't know. So I did get to witness firsthand his like meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I woke up to his sound, and I was like, what kind of animal is in the house right now? Like, it sounded like the mixture of like a pelican and a seagull dying. And
sounds like it was part husky.
It was freaky, dude. I was like, what is this in the house? And so I get out of my room. I walk into where the sound is, and it's the dog on the back of the couch, paws on the window, looking out the window, making this noise, like on the window, feet on the back of the couch, making this noise. And I'm like, what are you doing? And like, he just realizes I'm home, and he just gets down off the couch. He's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I may have overreacted.
Well, Bubs is the same way.
Yeah. He freaks out when no one's home.
Not when no one's home.
Okay.
He's good about it. But like,
he freaks out when I come over.
It's weird how he can like go from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
That's my theory. We were talking about evolution earlier. My theory of evolution for Chihuahuas is that they just give off this presence. You know how they say dogs can like sense emotions and stuff? I feel like Chihuahuas have somehow tapped into that and figured out how to make their presence seem 10 times bigger. Because
very imposing. Yeah.
Because there's been a few times where I've been walking Bubs, and there'll be another dog, and they won't see him, and he'll just like suddenly just burst, and just be, like, and go after him, and the dog will freak out to then turn around and see him and be like, holy crap, that's it.
Yeah. No, I
don't know what it is.
The funny thing about that. So I was watching I saw this cartoon, and I've seen this over and over again. It's a cartoon of Minnie Mouse.
Yeah.
And there's a mouse running across the living room, and she freaks out because there's a mouse in her house, and she's Minnie Mouse from like Disney.
Yeah.
And someone posted in the comments, like, they're like, Minnie Mouse, you're a mouse as well. Someone responded. They said, if a little 3-inch tall naked human ran across your living room, you'd probably be pretty freaked out too. So, but no, I've seen that. There's videos all over the internet of cats chasing bears off, and cats just chasing animals off. Period.
Yeah.
And there's this like one video where this tiger.
Yeah.
This tiger is like sniffing at this cat. Cat just reaches up and pats at his nose, and the tiger freaks out.
Wow, yeah. Well, that's what Bub will do. That like he'll nip. I've seen him nip dogs on the nose. Yeah. But it really is funny, man. Like he just all of a sudden, like if he sees another dog, it's like he sends out this like sonar beacon, with his ears or something, and he just immediately tenses up, and he's like. Like, just eyes flaring up and everything.
Fight or flight reflex.
He's just exuding this energy that's making everything think that he's like, some Rottweiler.
This thing's gonna kill me. It won't. But.
And that's all it is. He just like tenses up. He's like red in the face. Like a blowfish in the water. Yeah. They see, but he'll
I think embodiment of aggression. Chihuahuas are.
And he goes from 0 to 6. Well, you kind of witnessed it because he went after you that one time when we were walking out, and he went after your foot. Yeah. And But you saw how as soon as I intervened, he just like rolled over. Like it was like.
I think it's just instinctual for him.
Yeah.
I think it kicks in before he kicks in.
Yeah.
So.
But it's so funny how it's just like this raging insanity to then as soon as I like, come up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And what was funny was when he went after you that one time, I only had to like move towards him. Like I only had to like jerk towards him. I made a noise afterward, but it was like this immediate submission. Like as soon as I moved, he was like, "Oh crap," which is hilarious. I think it's just hilarious.
He definitely went for my toe. he was playing for keeps.
But yeah, and that's the only thing about him is like he does have a form of separation anxiety, not to the extreme that the dog I grew up with had. But he hates it when we leave. But the trick of it is it helps a lot. I got these treats that are specifically for when I leave, and that makes it totally different. He gets a little rawhide bone. He gets excited about that. And then I give it to him, and he's sitting there chewing on it on the couch. He still knows I'm leaving, and he's a little upset about it. But he's just preoccupied with this bone that he's obsessed with. So,
I mean, yeah, I guess it's such a long time for them, the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about dogs. Yeah. Don't even think like them. I'm not a dog.
You're also not. How comfortable are you with dogs? Are you pretty comfortable with dogs?
Not very comfortable. No.
Not very comfortable. Yeah.
No, I've had.
Did you have like some kind of thing when you were younger where a dog came after you or anything?
No, not really. I mean, my mom says there was ran across a big dog came up to me when I was real young, but he was just curious. He didn't try to hurt me or anything, but I freaked out apparently.
Yeah.
To the point where I freaked out so much the dog ran off because it was scared. But yeah, no, I just I get the feeling that something it's innate that it could be that, it could be that anything large scared me. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
Well, one of the things about animals is you don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. So that could be a part of it. Just the unknown of dealing with an animal.
A year old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on. They like get rowdy. They're bitey.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a fan of bitey.
Yeah. I'm pretty much like I used to have, when you're a kid, you're going to be afraid of dogs. Mm-hmm. Especially when the thing's barreling up to you, even if it's happy, it's just like, no, this is not cool. When you're almost eye level with it, that's like not fun. So I was that used to be, but then after a while, after we owned the dog I had growing up, and just having experiences with dogs, is you can pretty much control them. Like dogs are very.
Yeah, you gotta raise them right.
Yeah, they work on a.
They're familiar.
What's the right word? Like they work on a power level. Yeah. Of like who's in charge. That's how they kind of work.
Yeah.
And if you're as long as you're showing the dog who's in charge, you're pretty much good. So whenever like if you got a dog that's really rowdy, or if you got dogs that are really rowdy, and they're kind of misbehaving and stuff, I mean, you gotta put the foot down on them, man. Yeah. With Bub. He knows, like, we don't tolerate going after people, even though it still pops out of him sometimes. But, at least I can get him to snap out of it in the moment. And that's a good thing. I've met dogs, dude, where they do not snap out of it. And to me, that's like an issue of like, well, you're not showing the dog who's in charge. You got to let them know. And really the only way that you're going to get a dog to realize who's in charge is like physical force. I mean, that's the only way to communicate. You don't need to like beat the dog, but you need to be pretty firm physically with them.
Yeah. Yeah, spoil the rod, or spare the rod, spoil the dog.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fine line. I mean,
Yeah.
with all things, you give negative feedback for bad actions, and you give positive feedback for good actions.
Right.
And eventually, those feedback cycles become behavior.
Well, and that's funny too, because I noticed that I could get mad at Bubs, because when I first got him, he was a little, he had some issues still.
Yeah.
But he sometimes he would poop in a house or something, and it started to become regular, and I used to get really upset at him and make sure that he knew that this was, we're not doing this. But what helped more is when I rewarded him when he pooped outside.
Did the right thing. Yeah. Yeah,
which is really bizarre.
You got to have both.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when I worked with kids, one of the things I'd had to always do is you can't just tell them what not to do. You have to tell them what to do. You can't just make their entire behavior policy about what not to do.
Yeah.
And so you punish the bad and reward the good.
Right. Yeah. And then that seemed to do wonders. So. Yep. Are you reading? What's up?
Yeah.
Oh, look, we got somebody commenting over here.
Yeah, I don't think we can play that. For one.
Greetings from Brazil. Well, hello. In Brazil. Could you please play Lesbian Seagull Song Acoustic?
It's probably DCMA.
I don't know if I've... What did you say?
DCMA, or what is it? DCMA? It's the music copyright stuff that goes on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't have a license yet.
We don't have a license for anything.
Yeah.
Only on stuff.
Lesbian Seagull. Are we saying that right? Lesbian Seagull Song?
That's the way it's typed out.
A lesbian seagull song. Gay dogs and lesbian seagulls. That's what's going on.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about it.
I don't either.
Bubs isn't gay though. He's pretty.
He's a Chihuahua.
Yeah. Yeah, Chihuahuas are their own kind of being.
They are.
Yeah.
They would run the earth if they could. They can't.
He has a. I think it would be hilarious if he had telekinesis powers.
Yeah, I mean.
And like the Force, and he could just move things with his mind. Then we'd have some stuff happening.
It would be dangerous.
Yeah, right?
A Chihuahua with the ability to actually do something.
Yeah.
Would be dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, you see these big dogs, and they could hurt people.
Yeah.
If they wanted to. They don't want to. Because
I don't think, but Bubs doesn't want to. He doesn't have that. But again, you're talking about how they're raised,
Yeah, that's right.
A Napoleon complex.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
YouTube watcher, whom I think I know. But he's good though. Like again, Chihuahuas, people think they need to baby them. It's still a dog. You still need to. Like I just told you.
Okay.
He would mess in the house. Somebody might be like, "Oh, you pooped in the house. Don't do that," and they feel like nervous to like discipline them or something. I would make sure that there was something. But again, the rewarding seemed to help even more so. So
yeah,
like when he actually did the right thing,
Yeah, I mean you gotta raise it right.
Yeah.
I mean it's behavior. It's learned behavior.
Yeah.
All the way through and through. If you ignore bad behavior, you tell them they can keep doing that. So.
Yeah, and What was I gonna say? Oh, he is more spoiled now with the wife being around.
Gives him lots of attention.
Yeah, I've told her to stop babying him because he sometimes he just gets a little too comfortable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, what used to happen when it was just me and him, and some point in the morning he would come running up to the bed while I was still sleeping and just like tap the edge of the bed like he wanted to come up in the bed with me. And I got to a point where I was like, nope, go to your bed, get. And he would stop and he'd immediately go. Like there was no problem with that, right? With the wife now, he'll come up, tap on the bed, and just tap, 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 and then she just would pick him up and put him next to her or something. Which, it's not bad, but, I get tired of him coming in and tapping on the bed, And then it started to get to a point where I would wake up and tell him to get, and he would, but then immediately just come back. I was like, oh. And I told the wife, I said, do you see what you're doing? Do you see this? Look at him misbehaving.
Yeah. Learned behavior.
That's right. But anyway, enough about dogs, right?
Enough about dogs.
Yeah. Dogs. What were we talking about before that?
I don't even remember.
I don't even know how we got on to dogs.
So we were talking about nails.
Nails.
Then
playing with nails, playing with fingertips.
Tearing up your fingers. Somehow we ended up with the naked cats. And then you mentioned bubs.
Yeah.
And that's where it went to.
Yeah. Somehow we got to the naked cats and bubs. Yeah. No clue. But anyway. What was I gonna? What was something I wanted to talk? Oh, we were gonna talk about that crazy video you sent me of these people and these wild tunings.
Math rock.
Is that what they're calling it?
It's math rock. It's called math rock. Midwest emo, math rock.
They call it math rock?
Jazz pop fusion.
They call it math rock because there's a lot of rhythm going on, like just different rhythmic
very complicated.
Changes.
It's not very linear. It's very triangular, I think is the term they use, or angular.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm not into tuning, but yeah, and so they do tapping and stuff like that, and
yep.
And they do it a lot better than I do, but
yeah.
I mean, I think it's an amazing style of music. I think most people don't like it because it doesn't have a steady structure to it. It's not like yeah, but even more so than that. So it's just like
yeah.
I wish I had brought my guitar that I kept in the other tuning.
And I don't know if I expressed this last time, but yeah, there's just something about having to tune my guitar to some wild tuning, because when you sent it was like something nutty.
I think it's.
Do you remember what it was?
I think it's A minor over F.
Was it?
I think is what it is. I think it's A minor over F is what it's tuned to. So that open string is A minor over, or no, A major 7 over F. I think.
Okay.
I think is what it is.
Really? It's just a weird, tuning the guitar to some wild looking thing.
The nice thing is it's not hard to tune it to that. So it's not like other tunings I've seen where the next thing I know, one of my strings is up a full step and it breaks all the time. So Creed used a lot of those, the band Creed.
What's that?
That he used to tune this string, E, A, D, G. He used to tune the G to, E, A, D, G, B. I think he used to tune either the D or the G string up a full step or a full step and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was It was Dad or something like that. DADADD, yeah. Or then he did DAD.
Dad Gad.
DA F sharp.
Oh yeah, so it was a major chord. It was like a D major.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But it breaks my strings about half the time I tune to it.
Does it really? Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Of course, I may have been making mistakes with it. Who knows?
Because when I tune it down to Dad Gad, and when I know that I'm going to be doing stuff like that, I think I've already talked to you about how I like to have enough wound string on the tuner, just because if there's the less that you have, the more strain it's putting on the little bit of string, and I feel like that wears it out quicker.
Could be,
but I don't know.
I have these wound pretty well.
Yeah, those look good.
Yeah, they're staying in tune real nice too. So
yeah, you wanted to get locking tuners for this guitar, right?
I did, yeah, but I didn't want to drill a hole in the headstock. So I mean, maybe next time I can prepare some stuff for the math rock.
Yeah, bring it in.
I think it's amazing style, and it takes a lot of influence from jazz.
Yeah.
And it plays a lot of stuff that's not typically just traditional, 3-note chords.
Yeah. Well, there's a girl. What was that one video you showed me was this girl, and she was playing a Strat. It was like the Midwest emo.
I think you have to play
Shred or something.
You either have to play a Telly or a Strat if you're gonna play Midwest emo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But she was playing this, and she apparently is, I guess, pretty well known. But I forgot her name. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoever that person is.
I remember who you're talking about. Yeah, unfortunately.
Because I saw her in a commercial.
She plays guitar real well.
Yeah. I'm just not, that all the wild tunings.
Yeah, I get that.
Like, there's that style that you're talking about it does sound really cool. And then you got people doing that on acoustic guitars, and they're doing all this like slap and tapping and harmonic stuff. And I think it's nice. It sounds really cool, but again, it's becoming a fad, I guess, now, and I'm like,
it's not really catching on that much.
Yeah.
I mean, pop music is still the most popular. I mean, it's called pop music for a reason. But the thing I think about it that's cool about it is it kind of sticks to the 4-chord format of pop music, but it expands on it with more melodic stuff.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to sing along with because the support structure of the notes is not there for the vocals.
Right.
So.
Yeah. The tunings I've messed with have been Dad Gad, open tuning like like you were saying, the D-A-D F sharp. A-D.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
which is what I like to use for like when I'm playing a slide guitar.
It sounds nice. It sounds really nice.
It's a great that Delta blues, man. And I think that's just like that's a lot of that stuff sounds good. I guess a big part of me comes from like I like the Delta blues sound. I like, let's see. I guess I'm all over the place. Yeah.
I like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Thing I like about the Midwest emo stuff is a lot of it gives you the opportunity to write really complicated songs.
Yeah.
Lyrically.
Does it?
Yeah. Indie rock. A lot of indie rock has influences from math rock. And so if you're indie rock, you're typically either singer-songwriter or you're like a mixture between metal and math rock or Midwest emo. That's where the Midwest emo came from. So it's like, it's moody, but it's like upbeat moody.
Yeah.
Kind of like how there's, you know, metal. There's like Dragon Force is like Viking metal, and it's about saving the day and using your guitar to slay dragons.
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you happen to listen to the Black Label Society album, the new one yet?
I have not. Listened to a lot of music lately.
Yeah, it's just fun, man. I was listening to it today at the gym.
I imagine it is.
It was, it's just a fun album. I was also listening to Public Enemy, which is like not mainly rock at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's hip hop.
Right.
They got an album out called What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down, or When the Grid Goes Down, maybe. Yeah, When the Grid Goes Down, I think is the name of the album. Great album.
Sounds ominous.
Yeah, a lot of this, there's a lot of hip hop that I'm like, but you know, that old school stuff, Public Enemy, which is like early hip hop, really good. Fun beats, fun like what do they call them? Tracks that they just kind of loop or play, these effects and stuff. It's just a lot of fun. They got a lot of fun sounding stuff.
I'm trying to think about what they're called. They're clips. They're tracks. You want to play something?
I do. What do we want to play, Dan?
I have to stick to those 4-chord songs because I'm not proficient. So you're just playing a 9.
So I'm going to play something in B minor.
Okay.
And then whatever you want to do, Dan.
Okay.
You do something. You ready?
Yeah, if you're going to go back to more clean, I'm going to clean it up a little bit too.
Okay.
to figure out the pattern.
No worries.
That 9 chord is a stretch.
Yeah. And especially on here, I notice it because the scale length is bigger on a 7-string.
I forgot that was a 7-string guitar. So I kept basing it around the bottom string being an E string, and that's why I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Is that your sustaining act?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say that's a lot of sustain.
you think? We got anything else to say?
I don't think so.
Any other musical wisdom?
No, I'll save my
besides what just happened there?
I'll save my musical wisdom. I don't know what that was. I was just playing by ear.
Sounded good to me.
Definitely sounded like Aladdin.
Aladdin. Flying around on his magic carpet.
Playing metal.
Yeah. Jasmine wouldn't be very happy about that.
I don't know. I think she'd be the one into metal.
Jasmine? You think so? Or Jafar?
No, I don't think Jafar would like metal. He likes jazz.
You hear that, all you jazz fans out there? The villain likes jazz.
Villain always likes jazz.
So there.
There you go.
It makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. I watched a movie last night. It was called Here Comes the Boom.
Oh, yeah. That's a good movie.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin James.
Kevin James. That's right.
I thought it was a good feel-good movie.
Yeah, it was. He didn't feel good. He got punched all the time. But the movie was a feel-good movie.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I had a few laughs in there.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a funny dude.
There are some things though that like I don't like laugh hysterically with Kevin James so much, but there was some good stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like the scene where he's trying to impress the chick there. And he bets her that if he can do, what is it, a slam dunk? If he can do a slam dunk.
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen the movie.
If he can do a slam dunk, she's got to go out to dinner with him. She's like, you can't do it. So he's like, I bet you I can. And then he goes and grabs a trampoline thing to help him. And she's like, that's cheating. It doesn't count. And he's like, watch. And he jumps on the trampoline and he makes it and he just misses it and smacks on the ground. That was good.
Just a good old
yeah.
Other people in pain just to brighten up your day.
That's right. You know, and I don't know what it is. I get that from I hear that. I don't know why it's so funny to me. Some people freak out about that, and I'm like, come on, really? Like, are they hurt? They're not really like hurt.
Just their pride and probably
right.
knows.
Yeah, that's about it.
On top of which they're acting, so.
Yeah. But yeah, good movie. I recommend it. Well, what do you say? Should we wrap this up?
Sure.
So what did we talk about today? We talked about
cats, dogs.
Cats and dogs.
Naked cats specifically.
We started talking about. We were talking about. At the beginning. Picks. Pick style. There we go.
Pick style. Yeah,
dogs.
And finger picking style as well.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
And we jammed.
I played a scale. I have no idea what the scale is called. Sound good?
Hungarian Gypsy Minor.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what you were playing.
All right. I was just playing by ear.
That's what you were playing, Dan.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, all right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for tuning in. For those who did, we hope you learned something and laughed and,
had a good evening.
Maybe the music brought you a headache, but hey, if everything sounded good, it wouldn't be music. You know what I mean? Occasionally you got to have some dirt in there and some bad notes. So, and that's what we do here. Everything we do is on a whim in this.
It basically is, yeah.
Yeah. We make it up.
We do.
Right here.
Not a single thing planned.
And there you have it. All right. We're out. We're going to do the little outro here.
It's awesome.
Ready? Here we go. Good night, everybody. It has been a pleasure.